evening, ladies and gentlemen. Would you please be so kind as to switch off all cell phones? No video or camera recordings allowed. Have you put them away yet? Then we can begin. A middle-class English interior with English armchairs. An English evening. Monsieur Smith, an Englishman, is seated in his English armchair and wearing English slippers. He is wearing a small grey English moustache and he is reading an English newspaper. Beside him, in another English armchair, Madame Smith, an English woman, is darning some English socks. A long moment of English silence. The clock strikes 17 English strokes.
It's 9 o'clock. We've drunk the soup, eaten the fish and chips, and the English salad. The children have drunk English water. We've eaten well this evening. That's because we live in the suburbs of London, and because our name is Smith. Potatoes are very good fried, in fact. The salad oil was not rancid. The oil from the grocer at the corner has better quality than the oil from the grocer at the bottom of the street. However, I prefer not to tell them that the oil is bad. However, the oil from the grocer at the corner is still the best. Mary did the potatoes very well this evening. The last time she did not do them well. I do not like them when they're not well done. Oh, and the fish. The fish was fresh, made my mouth water. I had 2 helpings. I actually had 3 helpings that made me go to the water closet, but he doesn't need to know that, does he? You also had 3 helpings, but the 3rd time you took less than the first 2 times. Why is that? Usually it is you who eats more. It's not appetite you lack. Oh, and the soup was salty. A little saltier than you. You also had too many leeks and not enough onions. I regret I didn't advise Mary to add some aniseed stars. Oh, our little boy wanted to drink some beer. He's going to love getting tiddly. He's like you. At the table, did you notice how he stared at the bottle? But I poured some water from the jug into his glass. He was thirsty and he drank it. But Helen is like me. She's a good manager, thrifty, plays the piano, and she never asks to drink English beer. She's like me and our little daughter, Peggy. She only drinks porridge and milk. It would have been nice to have had a small glass of Australian burgundy with the sweet, but I did not wish to set a bad example of gluttony to the children. They must learn to be sober and temperate. Mrs. Parker was a Romanian grocer by the name of Popescu Rosenfeld. Rosenfeld? Was just come from Constantinople. He's a great specialist in yogurt. He comes from the school of yogurt making in Adrianople. Tomorrow, I plan to buy a large pot of native Romanian yogurt from him. One doesn't often find such things here in the suburbs of London. And yogurt is good for the appendicitis, the kidneys, epitheosis. It was Dr. Mackenzie King who told me that. He's a very good doctor. He's the one who takes care of our neighbor's children, the Johns. I like Dr. Mackenzie King. One can trust him. He never prescribes any medicine that he has not tried out on himself first. Before operating on Parker, he had his own liver operated on first, even though he was not the least bit ill.
That the doctor pulled through while Parker died.
Oh, because the operation was successful in the doctor's case, and it was not in Parker's.
Then Mackenzie's not a good doctor. The operation should have succeeded with both of them, or else both should have died.
Why?
A conscientious doctor must die with his patient if they can't get well together. A captain of a ship goes down with the ship into the briny deep. He does not survive alone.
One cannot compare patient with a ship.
Why not? A ship has its diseases too. Moreover, your doctor is as hale in the ship, and that's why I should have perished at the same time as his patient, like the captain and his ship.
Ah, I hadn't thought of that. Perhaps it is true. And then what conclusion do you draw from this?
All doctors are quacks, and all patients too. Only the Royal Navy is honest in England.
Ah, but not sailors.
Naturally. Here's the thing I don't understand. In the newspaper, they always give the age of the deceased person, but never the age of the newly born.
I hadn't thought of that.
Says here Bobby Watson died.
Bobby Watson? My God, poor man, when did he die?
Why do you pretend to be astonished? You know very well that he's been dead these past 2 years. Sure, we attended his funeral a year and a half ago.
Of course I do remember. What I don't understand is why you yourself are so surprised to see it on the paper.
It wasn't in the paper. It's been 3 years since his death was announced. I remember it through an association of ideas.
Oh, what a pity. He was so well preserved.
He was the handsomest corpse in Great Britain. He didn't look his age. Poor Bobby. He was still warm. A veritable living corpse. And how cheerful he was.
Oh, poor Bobby.
Which poor Bobby do you mean?
Oh, it's his wife that I mean. She's called Bobby too, Bobby Watson. Since they both had the same name, we could never tell one from the other when we saw them together. It was only after his death it could really tell which was which. And there are still people today who confuse her with the deceased. You know, for their condolences to him. Do you know her?
I only met her once, by chance, at Bobby's burial.
Oh, I've never met her. Is she pretty?
She has regular features, and yet one cannot say that she's pretty. She's too big and stout. But then her features are not regular, and yet one can say that she's very pretty. She's a little too thin and too small. She's a voice teacher.
get married, those two?
Next spring at the latest.
I suppose we shall have to go to their wedding.
We shall have to give them a wedding present. I wonder what?
Why don't we give them one of those 7 silver salvers that were given to us for our wedding, which have never been of any use to us?
The 7 silver salvers.
7 silver
The
salvers.
7 silver salvers.
7 silver salvers. 7 silver salvers. How sad for her to be left a widow so young.
Fortunately, they had no children.
Children, poor woman, of course she have managed.
She's still young. She might very well remarry. She looks so well in mourning.
And who will take care of the children? You know very well they have a boy and a girl. What are their names?
Bobby and Bobby like their parents. Bobby Watson's uncle. Old Bobby Watson is a rich man and very fond of the boy. He might very well pay for Bobby's education.
That would be proper. Then Bobby Watson, or Bobby Watson's aunt, old Bobby Watson, might very well in her take pay for the education of Bobby Watson. Bobby Watson's daughter. That way Bobby Watson's mother, could remarry. Has she anyone in mind?
Yes, a cousin of Bobby Watson's.
Who, Bobby Watson?
Which Bobby Watson do you mean?
Why, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's other uncle.
No, it's not that one, it's someone else. It's Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's aunt.
Are you referring to Bobby Watson, the commercial traveller?
All the Bobby Watsons are commercial travelers.
Oh, what a difficult trade. However, they do well at it.
Yes, when there's no competition.
And when is there no competition?
On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays.
And what does Bobby Watson do on those days if there's no competition?
He rests, he sleeps.
But why doesn't he work if there's no competition?
I don't know everything. I can't answer your idiotic questions.
Idiotic questions? Are you trying to humiliate me?
You know very well that I'm not.
Oh, men are all alike. You sit there all day, powdering your nose, rouging your lips, or otherwise you smoke all day.
But what would you say if you saw men acting like women do? Smoking all day, powdering, rouging their lips and drinking whiskey.
Oh, it's nothing to me. Nothing. But if you're trying to annoy me, know very well I don't care for the kind of joking.
Oh, my little ducky daddles. Honestly, far you are. You know I only said it as a joke. Come, let's go put out the lights.
Seaman, I have spent a very pleasant afternoon. I've been to the cinema with a man, and I've seen a film with some women. After the cinema, we went to drink some brandy and milk, and then read the newspaper.
I hope you spent a pleasant afternoon, that you went to the cinema with the man and drank some brandy and milk.
And the newspaper.
Mr. and Mrs. Martin, your guests are at the door. They were waiting for me. They didn't dare come in by themselves. They were supposed to have dinner with you this evening?
Yes, we were expecting them. Since they didn't put in an appearance, we are going to start dinner without them. You have nothing to eat all day. Nothing. You should not have gone out.
But it was you who gave me permission.
We didn't do it on purpose.
I bought me a chamber pot.
Pardon. Give me a chamber pot. Mary, please tell Mr. and Mrs. Martin to step in. He'll go change quickly.
Why have you come so late? You are not very polite. People should be punctual. But anyway, yes, put the couch down there and I'll wait now that you're here.
Excuse me, madam, but it seems to me, unless I'm mistaken, that I've met you before.
I do, dear sir. It seems to me that I've met you somewhere before.
Was it perhaps at Manchester that I caught a glimpse of you, dear lady?
It is indeed possible. I'm originally from the city of Manchester, but I have bad memory, sir, so I cannot say whether it is there that I caught a glimpse of you.
Good God, that is curious. I, too, am originally from the city of Manchester, my lady.
That is curious.
Isn't that curious? Only I left the city of Manchester about 5 weeks ago.
That is curious. What a bizarre coincidence. I too, dear sir, I left the city of Manchester about 5 weeks ago.
I took the 8:30 morning train, which arrives in London at 4:45, my dear lady.
It's curious. How bizarre. And what a coincidence. I took the same train, sir. I too.
I travelled second class. There is no second class in England, but I always travel second class, my dear lady.
That is curious. How bizarre. And what a coincidence. I too, dear sir, I traveled second class.
Well, then perhaps it was in second class that we met each other, my dear lady.
It is indeed possible, my dear sir. That is not unlikely. It's plausible. After all, why not? But I do not recall it, my dear sir.
My seat was in coach number 8, compartment 6, my dear lady.
That is curious. How bizarre. And what a coincidence. I too, sir, my seat was in coach number 8, compartment 6, my dear sir.
Well, then perhaps it was in compartment 6 that we met, my dear lady.
It is indeed possible, my dear sir. After all, why not? But I do not recall it, my dear sir.
I had seat number 3, next to the window, my dear lady.
That is curious. Good God, how bizarre. And what a coincidence. I do, dear sir, I had seat number 6, next to the window, across from you, my
Good
dear
God, how
sir.
curious it is! Then we were seated facing each other.
It is indeed possible, my dear sir. I do not recall it.
Dear lady, were you not the lady who gave me her suitcase to put on the luggage rack and who gave me permission to smoke?
But of course, that must be I. How curious it is. How curious it is. And what a coincidence. But I do not recall it, my dear sir.
Nor do I. Since coming to London, I have resided in Bromfield Street, my dear lady.
It's curious. How bizarre. I too, sir. Since coming to London, I resided in Bromfield Street.
Well, then perhaps it was in Bromfield Street that we met, my dear lady.
It is indeed possible. After all. But I do not recall it, my dear sir.
I reside at number 19 Bromfield Street, my dear lady.
That is curious. How bizarre. I too, dear sir. I reside at number 19.
Good God, dear lady, perhaps it is in that house that we met.
It is indeed possible. But I do not recall it, my dear sir.
My flat is on the 5th floor, number 8, my dear lady.
That is curious. Good God. How bizarre. And what a coincidence. My flat was also on the 5th floor, my dear sir, on flat number 8.
In my room, there is a bed. On this bed, there is a green eiderdown. This bed, with the green eiderdown, is at the end of the corridor, next to the water closet and the bookcase, my dear lady.
What a coincidence. Good God. What a coincidence. I too, sir, my bedroom has a bed with the green eiderdown. It is at the end of the corridor, between the water closet, my dear sir, The bookcase!
Dear lady, I have a daughter, my little girl. She's 2 years old. She's blonde. She's very pretty. She has one red eye and one white eye. Her name is Alice, dear lady.
That is curious. What a bizarre coincidence. I too, my dear sir, I have a little girl. She's 2 years old, has a white eye and a red eye, and she's very pretty, and her name is Alice too, my dear sir.
Good God! Perhaps they are the same, dear lady.
That is curious. It is indeed possible, my dear sir.
Well then, dear lady, there can be no doubt about it. We have seen each other before, and you are my own wife, Elizabeth.
Donald! It is you, darling!
Donald and Elizabeth are now too happy to be able to hear me. I can therefore let you in on a secret. Donald is not Donald. Elizabeth is not Elizabeth. And there is the proof. The child that Donald spoke of is not Elizabeth's child. Oh, no, 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 no. They are not the same person. Donald's child has one white eye and one red eye, like Elizabeth's daughter. Whereas Donald's child has a white right eye and a red left eye. Elizabeth's child has a red right eye and a white left eye. Thus, all of Donald's system of deduction collapses when it comes up against this last obstacle, which destroys his whole theory. It is in vain that he thinks he is Donald. It is in vain that she thinks she is Elizabeth. He believes in vain that she is Elizabeth. She believes in vain that he is Donald. They are sadly deceived. But who is the true Donald? Who is the true Elizabeth? Who has any interest in prolonging this confusion? I don't know. Let's not try to know. Let's leave things as they are. Oh. My real name is Sherlock Holmes. What's Done. Darling, let's forget all that has not passed us. And now that we've found each other again, let's try to not lose each other anymore and live as before.
Yes, darling.
Good evening, friends. Please forgive us for Having made you wait so long, we thought we should extend you the courtesy of featuring entitled. And as soon as we learned that you were kind enough to give us the pleasure of coming to see us without prior notice, we hurried to dress for the occasion.
We've had nothing to eat all day. We've been waiting 4 whole hours for you. Why have you come so late?
Why?
Oh, but definitely.
We all have colds.
Nevertheless, it's not chilly.
There's no draft.
Oh no, fortunately.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Don't you feel well?
Oh no. He has wet his pants.
Oh, but sir, at your age, you shouldn't.
The heart.
That's true.
So they say.
They also say the opposite.
The truth lies somewhere between the two.
That's true.
Well, since you travel so much, you must have many interesting things to tell us.
Tell us what you've seen today, my dear.
It's just here with the trouble, for no one would believe me.
We're not going to question your sincerity.
You'll offend us if you think that.
It will offend them, my dear, if you think that.
Well, today I witnessed something extraordinary, something incredible.
Tell us quick, my dear. Oh, this is going to be amusing.
At last.
Well, today I went shopping for some vegetables, which are getting dearer and dearer.
Or where is it all going to end?
You shouldn't interrupt, my dear. It's very rude.
In the street, near a cafe, I saw a man, properly dressed, about 50 years old, or not even that.
Who what?
Who what?
Don't interrupt, my dear. You disgusting.
But it was you who interrupted first.
What was this man doing?
Well, I'm sure you'll say I'm making it up. He was down on one knee, and he was bent over.
Oh.
Bent over.
Not possible.
Yes, he was bent over. I went near him to see what he was doing.
And?
He was tying his shoelaces, which had come undone. Unbelievable.
If someone else had told me this, I'd not believe it.
Well, why not? One sees things even more extraordinary when one walks around. For instance, today in the underground, I myself saw a man sitting quietly, reading his newspaper.
His newspaper?
His newspaper.
What a character.
Perhaps not the same man. Goodness, someone is ringing.
There must be somebody there. I'll go and see. Nobody.
I'm going to give you another example.
Goodness, someone is ringing.
There must be somebody there. I'll go and see. Nobody.
You were going to give us another example.
Oh yes.
Goodness, someone is
Do
ringing.
not tell me to open the door again.
Yes, but there must be someone there.
The first time there was no one. The second time there was no one. Why do you think there's someone there now?
Because someone has rang.
That's no reason.
When one hears the doorbell ring, one brings an order to have the door opened.
Not always. You've just seen otherwise.
In most cases, yes.
As for me, when I visit someone, I ring in order to be admitted. I think everyone does the same thing. And whenever there's a ring, there must be someone there.
That is true in theory, but in reality things happen differently. You've just seen otherwise.
Your wife is right.
Oh, you women. You always stand up for each other.
Well, I'll go and see. And you can't say I'm obstinate, but you'll see there's no one there. You see, there's no one there. Oh, these men who think they're always right and who are always wrong.
Goodness, someone is ringing.
Do not send me to open the door again. You have seen that it's useless. Experience teaches us that when one hears the doorbell ring, it is because there's never anyone there. Never!
In fact, it's false. When one hears the doorbell ring, that's because someone rang it.
You won't admit that he's wrong.
My husband is very obstinate too.
There's someone there.
That's not impossible.
No.
Yes.
I tell you no. In any case, you're not going to disturb me and look for nothing. If you wish to know, go and look for yourself.
I'll go. Oh, how do you do? It's the fire chief.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Mrs. Smith. You appear to be angry.
Oh,
You see, my wife is a little irritated at having been proved wrong.
There's been an argument between Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. Fire Chief.
Oh, this is no business of yours. And I beg you not to involve outsiders in our family arguments.
Oh, my dear. This is not so serious. The fire chief is an old friend of the family. His mother courted me, and I knew his father. He asked me to give him my daughter's hand in marriage if I ever had one. And he died waiting.
Well, that's neither his fault nor yours.
Well then, what is it about?
My husband was claiming.
No, it was you who was claiming.
Yes, it was she.
no, it was he.
Don't get excited. You tell me, Mrs. Smith.
Well, this is how it was. It's very difficult for me to speak openly to you, but then a fireman is also a confessor.
Well then,
Well, my husband was claiming that each time the doorbell rings, there's always someone at the door.
It is plausible.
And I was claiming that each time the doorbell rings, there's never anyone at the door.
It might seem strange.
And it has been proved, not by theoretical demonstrations, but by facts.
That's false. Since the fire chief is here, he rang the bell, I opened the door, and there he was.
When?
But just now.
But it was only when the doorbell rang for the fourth time. There was someone there, and the fourth time does not count.
Never! It is only the first 3 times that count.
Mr. Fire Chief, permit me my turn to ask you several questions.
go right ahead.
When I opened the door and saw you, was it really you who had rang?
Yes, it was I.
You were at the door, and you rang in order to be admitted?
I do not deny it.
You see, I was right. When one hears a doorbell ring, that's because someone rang it. You certainly cannot say that the fire chief is not someone.
Certainly not, but I repeat, you are speaking of only the first 4 times.
And did you hear the doorbell ring the first time?
Yes, but it wasn't I.
You see, the doorbell rang and there was no one there.
Or perhaps it was someone else.
Were you standing at the door for a long time?
3/4 of an hour.
And you saw no one?
No one, I'm sure of that.
And when the doorbell rang the second time, you heard it.
No.
But the third time, was it not you who rang?
Yes, it was I.
But when the door was opened, nobody was inside.
That was because I had hidden myself. As a joke.
Oh, don't make jokes. Oh, don't make jokes, Mr. Fire Chief. This business is too sad.
In short, we still do not know when the doorbell rings, if whether there's someone there or not.
Never anyone.
Always someone.
I'm going to reconcile you. You are both partly right. Sometimes when the doorbell rings, there's somebody there. Other times, there's nobody there.
This seems logical to me.
I think so too.
Life is very simple, really. Go on, kiss each other.
Oh, we just kissed each other a little while ago.
They'll kiss each other tomorrow. They have plenty of time.
Mr. Fire Chief, since you've helped to settle this, please remove your helmet and make yourself comfortable.
Excuse me, but I can't stay long. I should like to remove my jacket, but I haven't time to sit down. I must admit that I've come to see you for another reason. I'm on official business.
And what can we do for you, Mr. Fire Chief?
I must beg you to excuse my indiscretion. You don't mind? In front of them?
Say whatever you like.
We're old friends. They tell us everything.
Speak.
Well, is there a fire here?
Why do you ask us that?
It's because, pardon me, I have orders to extinguish all the fires in the city.
Oh?
Yes, all.
I don't think so, I don't know. Do you want me to go and look?
There's no fire here. There's no smell of anything burning.
None at all? You don't have a fire in the chimney? Something burning in the attic or the cellar? A little fire just starting at least?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it seems like we have nothing here at the moment. But I promise to notify you when we do have something.
Please don't forget. It would be a great help.
I promise.
There's nothing burning at your house either?
No, unfortunately.
Things aren't going very well just now.
Very poorly. There's been almost nothing. A few trifles. A chimney, a barn, nothing important. It doesn't bring in much. And since there are no returns, the profits on output are very meager.
Times are bad. That's true all over. It's the same this year with business and agriculture as it is with fires. Nothing is prospering.
No wheat, no fires.
No floods either.
Oh, but there is some sugar.
That's because
It's harder in the case of fires, Mr. Fire Chief. The tariffs are too high.
All the same, there's been an occasional asphyxiation by gas. For instance, a young woman asphyxiated herself last week. She had left the gas on.
And she forgotten it.
No, but she thought it was her comb.
these confusions are always dangerous.
Why don't you go see the vicar of Wakefield and use my name?
I don't have the right to extinguish clergymen's fires. The bishop would get angry. Besides, They extinguish their own fires themselves, else they would have them put out by Vestal virgins.
Go see Delaray.
I can't do that either. He's not English. He's only been naturalized. And naturalized citizens have the right to have houses, but not have the right to have them put out if they are burned.
Nevertheless, when the set fire to it last year, it was put out just the same.
He did that all by himself, clandestinely. But it's not I who would report him.
Neither would I.
Mr. Fire Chief, since you aren't too pressed, please, stay a little while longer.
Shall I tell you some stories?
Isn't he charming?
Stories! Stories! Yes! Stories! 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 You know what's even more interesting? That the fireman's stories are all true. They're based on nothing but experience.
I speak from my own experience. Truth. Nothing but the truth. No fiction.
That's right. Truth can only be found in real life, not in books.
Oh, begin!
Quiet, he's beginning.
Excuse me. Don't look at me like that. You embarrass me. You know that I'm shy.
Oh, isn't he charming?
I'm going to try to begin anyhow, but promise me you won't listen.
But if we do not listen, we won't hear you.
I did not think of it.
Chin up!
Well then, the dog and the cow. An experimental fable. Once upon a time, another cow asked another dog, "Why have you not swallowed your trunk?" "Pardon me," replied the dog, "it's because I thought that I was an elephant." That's for you to find out.
He's right.
Oh, tell us another.
A young calf had eaten too much ground grass. As a result, it was obliged to give birth. It brought forth a cow into the world. However, since the calf was male, the cow could not call him mama, nor could she call him papa because the calf was too little. The calf was then obliged to get married, and the registry office carried out all the details completely a la mode.
Like tribes.
You've heard that one?
Oh, it was in all the papers.
It happened not far from our house.
I'll tell you another. The cock. Once upon a time, a cock wished to play the dog, but he had no luck because everyone recognized him right away.
On the other hand, the dog that wished to play the cock was never recognized.
I'll tell you another. The snake. And the fox. Once upon a time, a snake came up to a fox and said, "It seems to me that I know you." The fox replied, "Me too." "Then," said the snake, "give me some money." The fox doesn't give money, replied the tricky animal, who, in order to escape, jumped down into a deep ravine full of strawberries and chicken honey. But the snake was there, waiting for him with his Mephistophelian laugh. The fox pulled out his knife, shouting, "I am going to teach you how to live." Then he took flight, turning his back, but he had no luck. The snake was quicker. With a well-chosen blow of his fist, he struck the fox in the middle of his forehead, which broke into 1,000 of pieces, while he cried, "No! No! 4 times no! I am not daughter!"
wasn't even true.
Yes, unfortunately.
Your turn, my dear lady.
I know only one, but here it is. It's called the bouquet.
My wife has always been a true romantic.
She's a true English woman.
Here it is. It's called the bouquet. Once upon a time, a fiancé gave a bouquet of flowers to his fiancée, who said, "Thanks." But before she had said thanks, he, without saying a single word, took back the flowers he had given her in order to teach her a good lesson. And he said, "I take them back." He said, "Goodbye." And took them back and went off in all different directions.
Oh, charming, charming.
You have a wife, Mr. Smith, of whom all the world is jealous.
It's true. My wife is intelligence personified. She's even more intelligent than I. In any case, she's much more feminine. Everyone says so.
Oh, tell us another, Mr. Fire Chief.
Oh, no, it's getting late.
Oh, tell us one anyway.
I'm too tired.
Please do us a favor.
Please, I beg you.
No,
You have a hut of ice. We're all sitting on hot coals.
Oh, I implore you.
right though.
He agrees. He's going to bore us again.
No luck. I was too polite.
The head call. My brother-in-law had, on the paternal side, a first cousin, whose maternal uncle had a father-in-law, whose paternal grandfather had married, as his second wife, a young native, whose brother he had met on one of his travels, a girl of whom he was enamored, and by whom he had a son, who had married an intrepid young lady pharmacist, who was none other than the niece of a fourth-class petty officer of the Royal Navy, whose adopted father had an aunt who could speak Spanish fluently, and who was perhaps one of the granddaughters of an engineer who died young. Himself the grandson of a vineyard owner who produced mediocre wine. But also had a second cousin, a stay-at-home sergeant major, whose son had married a very pretty young woman, a divorcee, whose first husband was the son of a loyal patriot who, in the hope of making his fortune, brought up one of his daughters so that she could marry a footman who had known Rothschild, whose brother, after changing his trade several times, married and had a daughter whose stunned great-grandfather wore spectacles, given to him by a cousin of his, the brother-in-law of a man from Portugal, who was the natural son of a miller, not too badly off, whose foster brother had married the daughter of a former country doctor, who himself was the foster brother of a forester, whose son had married 3 times in a row, whose third wife...
I knew that third wife, if I'm not mistaken. She ate chickens sitting on a hornet's nest.
It's not the same one. As I was saying, whose third wife was the daughter of the best midwife in the region, but who was left a widow.
Like my wife.
Married a glazier who was full of life, and had by the daughter of a station master a child who burned his breeches.
His breeches.
No, his bridge game.
Married an oyster woman, whose father had a brother, mayor of a small town, who had taken as his wife a blonde school teacher, whose cousin, a fly fisherman,
A fly-by-night.
was married to another blonde school teacher named Mary too, whose brother was married to another Mary, also a blonde school teacher,
Since she's blonde, she must be Marie.
whose father had been reared in Canada by an old woman who was the niece of a priest, whose grandmother, occasionally, in the winter, like everyone else, caught a cold.
A curious story. Almost unbelievable.
If you catch a cold, you should get yourself a coat.
It's a useless precaution, but absolutely necessary.
Excuse me, Mr. Fire Chief, I did not follow your story very well. At the end, when we got to the grandmother of the priest, I got mixed up.
One always gets mixed up in the hands of a priest.
Oh, Mr. Fire Chief, please begin again.
I don't know whether I'll be able to. I'm on official business. It depends on what the time is.
Oh, we do not have the time here.
But the clock,
It runs bad, it is contradictory, and always indicates the opposite of what the hour is.
Madame, Monsieur.
What are you doing here?
What are we coming here for?
Oh, Madame, Monsieur will excuse me, and these ladies and gentlemen too, but I would like to tell you a story myself.
What is she saying?
I believe that our friend's maid has gone crazy. She wants to tell us a story now, too.
who does she think she is? Oh.
Why are you butting in?
This is really uncalled for, Mary.
Oh, but it is she. Incredible.
And you?
Incredible. Here.
What does it all mean?
You know each other.
And how?
I'm so glad to see you again. At last.
Oh, this is not proper. Here, in the suburbs of London.
It's not proper.
It was she who extinguished my first fires.
I'm your little fire rose.
Well, if that's the case, friends, then these emotions are understandable, human, and honorable.
And all that is human is honorable.
Still, I still don't want to cease. Here, among us.
She's not been properly brought up.
Oh, you have too many prejudices.
What I think is that a maid, even though it's none of my business, will never be anything but a maid.
Even if she sometimes can be a rather good detective.
Let me go.
No, don't be upset. They're not so bad, really.
You two are very touching, but at the same time, a little,
Yes, that's exactly the
a
word.
little exhibitionistic.
There's a native British modesty. Forgive me for attempting yet again to define my...
Oh, I was going to tell you.
Don't tell us anything.
Yes.
Oh, go quiet into the kitchen and beat your palms in front of the mirror.
You know, even though I'm not a maid, I myself like to read before the mirror.
This morning, when you were looking at yourself in front of the mirror, you didn't see yourself.
Well, that's because I wasn't there yet.
Oh, the same. I could perhaps recite a little poem for you.
Oh, my little Mary, you're frightfully obstinate.
Then it is agreed. I'm going to recite a poem. The poem is entitled The Fire, in honor of the Fire Chief.
I must admit, all this is very subjective, but this is my conception of the world, my dream, my ideal. And now, this reminds me that I must leave. Since you don't have the time here, I must tell you that in exactly 3/4 of an hour and 16 minutes, I'm having a fire at the other end of the city. Consequently, I must hurry, even though it would be quite unimportant.
What will it be, a little chimney fire?
Oh, not even that. A straw fire and a little heartburn.
Well, we are sorry to see you go.
You've been very entertaining.
Thanks to you, we've passed a truly Cartesian 1/4 of an hour.
Speaking of that, the bold Diva.
She always wore her hair in the same hairstyle.
Ah, then goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck and a good fire.
Oh, let's hope so. For everyone.
I'll buy a pocket knife for my brother if you buy an island for your grandfather.
One walks on his feet, but one eats with electricity or coal. He who sells an ox today will have an egg tomorrow.
In reality, one must look out of the window.
One sits on a chair when the chair doesn't have any.
One must always think of everything.
The ceiling is above and the floor is below.
Well, that's a yes, it's only a matter of speaking.
To each of his own.
Take a circle, caress it, and it will turn vicious.
A schoolmaster teaches pupils to read, but a cat suckles the young and the small.
Nevertheless, it is the cows that gave us tails.
When I'm in the country, I love the solitude and the quiet.
You are not old enough for that yet.
Benjamin Franklin was right. You're more nervous than he.
What are the 7 days of the week?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Edward is a clerk. His sister Nancy is a typist. And his brother William is a shop assistant.
An odd family.
I prefer a bird in a bush than a sparrow in a barrel.
Well, I steak in a chalet than a gristle in a castle.
An Englishman's home is truly his castle.
I don't know enough Spanish to make myself understood.
I'll give you my mother-in-law's slippers if you give me your husband's coffin.
I'm looking for a bona fide priest to marry to our maid.
Bread is a staff, whereas bread is also a staff, and an oak springs from an oak every morning at dawn.
My uncle lives in the country, but that's none of the mirror's business.
Paper is for writing, the cat's for the rat, and cheese is for scratching.
Oh, the car goes very fast, but the cook beats butter better.
Don't be takey when I kiss the conspirator.
Charity begins at home.
I'm waiting for the aqueduct to come and see me at my windmill.
One can prove that social progress definitely tastes better with sugar.
To hell with polishing.
One doesn't polish spectacles with black wax.
With money, one can do anything.
I'll rather kill a rabbit than sing in the garden.
Cocatos, cocatos, cocatos. Cocatos, cocatos, cocatos. Cocatos, cocatos, cocatos.
Such caca. Such caca. Such caca. Such caca. Such caca. Such caca. Such caca.
Such cascades of cacos! Such cascades of cacos! Such cascades of cacos!
Such cascade of caca.
Dogs and fleas. Dogs and fleas.
Cactus, crocus, pockets, cocaine, cockroaches.
And Casca. You're in Cascas.
I'd rather lay an egg in a box than steal a fox.
Let me guess, my teeth.
Crocodile.
Let's go and slap uteruses.
I'm going to live in my cabana among my cocoa trees.
Cocoa trees on cocoa farms don't bear coconuts. They yield cocos. Cocoa trees on cocoa farms don't bear coconuts. They yield cocos. Cocoa trees on cocoa farms don't bear coconuts. They yield cocos.
Mice have lice, but lice haven't mice.
Don't lose my brooch.
Don't smooch the brooch.
Groom the goose, don't goose the groom.
The goose groom.
Groom the tooth.
Seducer seduced.
Scarama whoosh.
Such a douche.
Go take a douche.
I've been The Pope's got no horoscope. The horoscope is spoke.
Huzzah! Balzac! Bazooka!
Mozart! Braziers!
A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U.
B, C, D, F, G. 1, M, N, P, Q, R, X, Z.
From stage to stooge, from stage to surge.
Choo-choo. 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 Choo-choo.
It's
Not
That!
Wait.
It's
Over. Here.
It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here. It's not the race over here.
There, it's 9 o'clock. We've drunk the soup, we've eaten the fish and the chips, and the English salad. The children have drunk the English water.